Joanne Warren Assessment Task 2, Practical Assessment for Uphold and Support the Values and Principles of Public Service. Thank you for joining our professional development today. Before we commence today's session, please be advised toilets are down the hall on your left, and in case of a fire, the exit is at the end of the room, connected to an internal staircase that exits the building. This session will be used to discuss a few hypothetical scenarios aimed at discussing where we sit ethically on certain workplace potential issues. Within the Australian public sector, we are all required to maintain a certain level of ethics. What does ethics mean to you?
How we act, behave, and the standard we maintain at work.
Agree. Yeah, I agree with that, Matt. So a standard of behaviour that promotes human welfare and the good can refer to many things: animal welfare, colleagues, environment. So, and it's important to avoid unethical behaviour within the workplace, as it sets a poor example for yourself and the business. So what are a few unethical work scenarios, behaviours that we can think about today, and how can we avoid them?
Dress code.
Yep. Does anyone know the dress code within this workplace?
Within this workplace, we have provided a uniform.
Okay. How does that uniform look?
Washed, ironed, and generally looking clean and tidy, wearing the uniform with pride.
Okay, so absolutely. So if Sharon turned up to work every day wearing an inappropriate t-shirt, looking unprofessional, would this be unethical?
Yep.
Yep, okay, so, and this could be avoided by having a clear dress code, okay? And if you do not comply to the dress code, there will be clear consequences for uncompliance, okay? So for your knowledge, the APS values and codes of conduct in practice does include a standard of dress in their policy, detailed standards with penalties for violation. Okay, do you agree with that, Matt?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so what is another unethical situation that we could consider?
What about leaking confidential information?
Okay, do you have any experience with that, Matt?
Yes, I shared an image through social media about a current project I was involved in.
Okay, so why was it confidential?
I did not realise at the time that my boss had signed a confidentiality agreement with the developers. Leaking this image was sharing with potential competitors' work contract that my boss had secured.
Okay, so as an APS employee, under the Public Service Act 1999, you are expected to maintain an appropriate level of confidentiality about in-house dealings. So furthermore, in consideration with section 4.2.9 of those values, in practice there is an expectation, so proper use of information must be communicated in confidence within government, where an employee is given information on the understanding that it should not be disclosed except in the course of official duties. So in that situation, what was the outcome, Matt?
The outcome was, because I was unaware of the confidentiality agreement, I was advised to quickly remove the post. Moving forward, my boss now declares that the jobs we cannot share in general, I do not share anymore.
Okay. So whilst this scenario sounds very unintentional, you can see how on a larger scale, the sharing of confidentiality information could cause major problems. So on a side note, it is important to know if one of your colleagues is leaking information, you are obliged to act on this and report the dishonesty under Code 9.5.2 of the APS values of code and conduct in practice. Okay, I've got one. What about bribery? Say someone wants to jump the queue and offers you $50. So this type of behaviour is extremely unethical, and it could result in instant dismissal and could even leave you with a criminal record.
What about if it was not a cash bribe, but someone was wanting to give you a 6-pack of beer if you swap shifts with them?
Okay, well, that's still bribery, Matt. So how can we avoid these situations? So perhaps just don't make yourself vulnerable to them. Never accept a bribe. And if somebody is giving you a bribe, you should report that to your superior and let them know that that is happening. Okay, so thank you for your time today. So it is important to always consider your ethics in representation of yourself and within the business. So let's continue to act ethically and continue to educate ourselves in this area. And if you just refer to the 3 websites I've got there, you can find further information. Thank you very much.